Hello and welcome to another Manufacturer of the Week. Today we're going to South Cumbria to meet a company that makes playgrounds for children all across the world. The company's name is Playdale. The managing director is Barry Leahey MBE. Barry, a warm welcome to the programme.
Hi Nick, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it's a great pleasure to have you on the programme. Very quickly, Barry, for people who don't know the company, can you just tell us what you do, how many employees, turnover, that sort of thing?
Okay, yeah. Playdale's it's a 9th generation family business, and started in 1735. We've been everything to do with timber or steel during that time, hoopers and coopers and forestry. And I joined the business in 2004, started making playground equipment in 1978. I joined in 2004. I'm the first individual outside of the family to run the business, and we do what we say on the tin. We make children's playgrounds. Everything's manufactured in Cumbria. We've got circa 100 staff in manufacturing, and we now export to over 50 countries around the world where we have distributors, and that's all come in the last 10 years.
Well, it is a remarkable tale of progress. Dare I say it, it's also one of turnaround, given that you joined the company as sales director, international sales director, became MD CEO about 5 years ago. Don't blush, but I suspect an awful lot of this was down to you. What did you put in place to make the company progress at such a pace?
I've got to say it's a team effort, definitely. But where we came from what I would have called a very typical family business. It was a very nice atmosphere, and we had a company, but we didn't have a business. And we would do everything we could to help out and keep everything tickety-boo without really much systems and process. So way back in 2004, we put some structured sales processes in. We started to really drive the sales team and make people accountable from that side of the business. And that saw us treble in size over a period of about 10 years. However, what we didn't really do was do the same in our operations. And that was definitely lagging around accountability and systems. And we'd had a lot of, bad habits had creeped into the business over generations. And the turnaround of the business, it was a difficult time maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. We'd expanded very quickly, but we didn't really have the operational plan in place to make sure that we could grow with us. So we had to go backwards. We had to strip everything back. And for the last 5 years, we've really focused, me and the team, on lean manufacturing and advanced manufacturing. You know, this fourth industrial revolution was a word we didn't understand 5 years ago. And I'd like to think now we've really grasped the nettle and we're doing everything we can to find productivity gains.
So how difficult was it to do what must have come as something of a shock to perhaps some of the longer standing members of your team, to do such a root and branch rebuild of the business? How did you bring them along with you?
Transparency, Nick. That's, it's one of my big things. I want to make sure everybody knows, going back 5, 6 years ago, typical family business, no one talked about profit. And now we have profit boards up in every single room around the business. We're over 3 sites, and every room knows if we're on profit or not. And that was our key objective. And below that, we had 5 or 6 pillars that I stood up and we talked to the business. We told them where we needed to go and what we needed to change. You're right, it was a difficult journey and not everyone came with us. But when people knew what journey we were on, they found it far easier to get on the bus rather than just coming into work blindfolded every day. And slowly but surely, we've put those strategies in place. Each strategy would have a goal. Each goal would have objectives. And all those objectives would have action plans. And it's amazing when you look back over that period, what we've actually achieved as a business and how the culture has changed. And at the beginning, I said we had a company and not a business. And now we've got a fantastic company that is a really good business.
I know that you have received many awards, or the company has received many awards, but you have also, you're an MBE now. So I suspect that gives you a bit of permission to pass on some of your wisdom to other manufacturers. What would you say to manufacturers watching this who are perhaps family businesses and very happy in what they're doing, but perhaps struggling to move to the next phase? Offer some thoughts.
There's a few things. It's being able to have those difficult conversations. It's making sure people understand it isn't personal. This is business. And I think if you're transparent to those people and you tell them exactly what you need to achieve or where you are, you'll be surprised that people actually buy into the plan, because at the end of the day, they want to be successful. And then it's the systems and processes. And we brought in a word into the business again around about the time we brought the word profit in, was accountability. And we made sure everyone understood what they were accountable for. And don't get me wrong, we had tears at first and people thought that meant they were going to lose their jobs. People didn't lose their jobs. We just helped and trained and managed those people. And if you've got, the title manager in your title, you should be managing those people. And that's your responsibility to develop them and bring them along on that journey. And if you can get that across your management team, you'll see, huge traction.
It sounds a bit like tough love. I hope that's not too new agey a phrase to use.
No, it's nasty to be kind or whatever you want to do. You've got to point out. People have to know what wrong is to know what right is. And at times, especially in a business like ours, we were doing workarounds to work around people, and that just isn't sustainable in this times. We're huge now. We've got a culture of continuous improvement. And why? Because we were very clear and we gave real examples that if we weren't changing, or we were changing slower than the outside world, we were already going backwards. And that is those tough love time type of conversations you've got to have. But give examples, show people what you mean. Use examples from other industries. You don't want to be comfortable, because very quickly you'll be uncomfortable. And that's what we just stressed with people. And tough, but you get the benefits in the long run, most definitely.
You've obviously focused very successfully on exporting. How easy or difficult was that? I mean, obviously you've got a good product, but becoming a big exporter is quite a leap and takes quite a lot of focus and concentration. How difficult did you find it?
I'm not going to use the word difficult. It requires time and dedication. Over the last 10 years, Nick, I've done over 600 flights. I've been in 60 countries. I probably lived outside the country for over 2 years in hotel rooms. So it does take an awful lot of dedication, but the returns on it are fantastic. If at the beginning of the COVID crisis, we hadn't been spread across 50 countries, then we'd be in a much worse situation than we are now. It spreads the risk, and learning from different cultures is exciting and fun as an individual, but also as a business, it takes you to another level, because world-class quality and world-class customer service 24 hours a day, different time zones, feels different, and it's actually developed the business. So it has trade-offs, but it's been a long, dedicated journey.
You've become something of a poster child. The company has for government, I suppose. You're very much part of government's talks with SMEs at this very difficult time in our national history, both through COVID and, of course, preparing for the end of the Brexit transition period. What are you hearing from government about these difficult times and about how we might get through them?
They're listening an awful lot at the moment, all right? And they're making some very positive noises, but what we are stressing back to them is don't benchmark ourselves against the UK or the UK of the last 10, 20 years. It's try to look more global. Every problem's an opportunity, isn't it? Yeah, if you look at it the right way, and we're in a crisis, so let's not waste a crisis. And in fairness to government, I must have been part of now 5 or 6 ministerial meetings over the last few months. And there's very little tell in there. Yes, they're moving at pace. And in fairness, people do get an awful lot wrong when they're moving at pace. But I think they're following a bit of a fail fast type culture, which, every modern business, you'd want to adopt fail fast. Unfortunately, the media, can change what their fail fast is into huge failure. But in fairness, they're still looking and they're still listening, and they're opening to listening to someone like myself who, like I've already said, is very transparent and quite straight talking. And I think they appreciate that at this moment in time. They're looking for the business world to help them.
Well, Barry, thank you very much indeed for being with us. Thank you for being such a positive representative of the sector in the halls of government. And very best of luck, as if you need luck, to you and the team at Playdale.
Thanks, Nick. I really do appreciate that.
This has been Manufacturer of the Week from ZenootTV. If you'd like to feature in any of our future programs, just follow some of the links. There's one below me here or on the end slide at the end of the show, or go to our website, ukmfgmedia.com. I'm Nick Peters. Thanks for being with us. See you next time.